End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I bring you greetings in the name of our Lord Jesus. Pastor Ayo Oritsejafor's marriage is alleged to have crumbled. I saw this yesterday and I was baffled, I was shocked. And, let me just not keep calling these people's articles name because, I don't take their information seriously. So when I saw it yesterday, I had to wait and till this morning, and I saw that many tabloids, at least online media, the social media platforms, carrying it and reporting it. And so I felt that probably this is true. And in as much as my opinion about this may differ, but it is heartrending and very, very disappointing. Look, guys, the devil is attacking homes. The devil is an enemy of homes. Is an enemy of the family. Now, the story had it that even though I have some kind of findings that contradict what I found on the media, then we will look at it if that has a way of being a cover-up or damage control. Now, the story you have out there, you may have seen out there, is that this marriage has been bedeviled with serious misunderstandings, and it was alleged, which I want to completely disagree with or disbelieve, that the woman in question has been engaged in a relationship, extramarital relationship with another person for 10 years. Now, if you look at it, for 10 years, and Ayo was said to have been away from the house for 1 year. Now, the woman is said to have left the country and traveled overseas to go and meet with her alleged lover. Please read my lips. I said, I don't believe this. Now, this marriage is for 25 years. So, it was said that it was when the woman left the house that Ayo himself, Pastor Ayo, returned to the house, that he has been away from the house for 1 year. Now, I wouldn't know what would lead to a 25-year-old marriage of a pastor, a senior pastor, a prominent pastor at that matter, to crumble this way. And I just want to believe, and I just want to hope that it is not true, that they will still come back. There was a time, Pastor Benny Hinn too, he went through divorce, but eventually his wife, came back. Listen, irrespective of our ideas about marriage today, the Bible simply, suggests that at least anybody who will be a leader of people, a spiritual leader of the people, must have a working marriage. It is today that we have pastors that can divorce easily and remarry easily, without anybody raising an eyebrow. Well, anyway, that is not the discussion. But part of the things I have found was that at least last year, this marriage was celebrated last year, and you can actually see the beautiful pictures of the family in one of the occasions here. Oritsejafor is a proponent of leadership by example. This is evident in the role he played in bringing the crisis in Niger Delta area of Nigeria to an end. Now, just like I was saying, that marriage is under attack. Now, listen, a man that could meddle in the crisis that, bedeviled the Niger Delta at that time, and he could be among those that brokered peace. Now, but the issue that has to do with his family, he cannot handle. Now, it doesn't just occur. The devil is just a thief of peace. Now, but why I said what I said, that among other things, I just don't want to take the information on social media seriously about the alleged infidelity on the part of his wife, is because that recently, just as recent as a year ago, Oritsejafor and his wife celebrated 24th anniversary of their union. And on that day, he penned a glowing tribute to this wife of his that has suddenly been accused of infidelity. That day he wrote, and I read, "My darling wife, a woman of substance, a virtuous woman, I thank God for the day I met you. You did not only make me a better person, you turned my world around for good. You gave me the most amazing children anyone could ever wish for. I celebrate our union on this day of our 24th wedding anniversary." And this was just around May last year. So fast forward to today, and the story is that the woman has been having an affair for 10 years. Man, I chose not to believe it. Now, it is very, very unfortunate, that these things are happening. And I hope that people around them can broker peace that can bring them back together again, So, a marriage of 25 years, and this is a top pastor. The issue here is that marriage crisis, there is nobody that will say that he is wisest. But actually, there is a way. I think that everyone should be committed, to making the union work. I have said here that the only time I wouldn't support anybody staying in a marriage is when that marriage is about taking a life. But if it is about some disagreements, minor disagreements and all that, I think that, with maturity and willingness to make some sacrifices on the sides of the parties involved, these things can work. I remember Arome saying, what he said about himself and his wife, which is actually very funny. And I think you can have it here.
Desperately. Then when you now get married, you now discover that marriage it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You live one day at a time. And if your option of a woman is a fair one, when you live for 6 months together, you will not notice that she's fair anymore. What will keep you going is not what attracted you to her. What will keep you going, if you are a noble man, is going to be covenant. That covenant that you have, first of all, with God. There are many things you want to do, but you'll be constrained by God. The anger of your grandfather is still in you, and it will be seeking occasion to find expression. But if God has a firm grip on you, it is God that will constrain you not to do many things. Are you with me? Good. You will now discover that how to stay in marriage is different from how you got into it. To stay in it, you will need to be a man that is honorable. To stay in it, you will need to be a man that fears God. If not, you will do terrible things. Then you will now discover that it is a heart of covenant. God wants to teach us how to keep covenant. That's why he brought marriage. Because that person that you're going to be in covenant with is not going to be perfect. The person will be saying things that you don't want the person to say. The person, when you want to be quiet, you just want to be quiet. The person will just bring, hey, hey, hey! Jesus Christ. I'm admonishing all our brethren, young brothers. When people come to the altar, what's that song that they sing again? Huh? The normal wedding song that they dance and come to the altar. We that are old, when we stand, no miracle happens here. No miracle. Huh? As you are coming with your gown, no miracle will take place here. Miracles don't happen at the marriage altar. You will need more than a miracle to survive a marriage. You will need to learn the ways of God. That God that keeps covenant. You will have so many reasons for you to leave the woman and go and look for another one. In fact, the time will come where everything she is, it will be ugly. And everything outside, it will be wonderful. The reason why you will not be outside is because of a cord from heaven binds your heart. And yes, and that is how you are going to live hanging on that cord as long as you are married. So you entered, you thought you knew what you wanted, you entered, then you now survive by a cord. Nothing makes meaning that is not within purpose. Then when you overcome that inertia of the first dealings in your marriage and you survive it, and I pray you do survive it, then you will now discover that the reason why two of you came together is to prosecute a corporate purpose. And that purpose is God that gives it. And when you discover that purpose, it is not a purpose that your flesh likes. Because for my own, God told me that this marriage I'm entering into is going to be an opportunity for several people to be discipled close range. You understand that? Close range. That means people will stay with you. People will eat what you are eating. People will see you in the morning and then learn from your example. That's why I don't have any secret. Because people know everything about me. We were doing IEC, and I counted the people that were in my house. There were 69. Those 69 people ate from my kitchen. And some of the IECs, if we are not so lucky, many plates will break and cups, as a sign that a multitude came. So the reason, when we were building the house and we said we're building it and God was giving us some idea of what the house would be for, God was not thinking of our convenience. He wasn't thinking of maybe husband and wife will come and snap picture under light. He was thinking of how his kingdom will profit. People will enter into your space and inconvenience you because of it. So anytime you start becoming self-centered, self-seeking, it is because you have veered off from the pool of the calling. You are now on a journey of your own devising. Because everything that God brings your way, you will never know the joy that is in it until it becomes an object through which many other brethren can be served. Are you with me? That's how they call him. That's how he operates. I don't know. Okay, I will not be able to say this here. So let me keep quiet. Amen. People that other people will cast away. If that person passes like this, and the compassion of God in my heart shines on that person, that's all. That's all I need. It means God is saying that this person, take care of this person. And he will not tell me twice before I begin to obey. Do you understand? I don't do it every day. But if him, because me I'm not good, the person that is good is the one inside of me. Just in case I did something, I say, I'm a good man, you are wrong. It is not me that is good. It is him that is inside of me that manifested that thing. It's just that I'm yielded to him. So it was his way you saw. A call will make your emphasis go beyond self. It will go to the other person. The other person will become very important because you'll be carrying the heart of God concerning that person.
So that is all I want to, report here to you. The man is experienced in ministry and quite old. Some persons that may watch this video may not even be up to 25 years of age. But the marriage that is deemed to be older than them is alleged to be crashing. God forbid. I know that there have been marriages that, quite over than that of 25 years, older than 25 years old that have crashed. And people that are quite older than Ayo and his wife, that their marriages have crashed. We understand that. But then it is not something to celebrate. I just need to bring that, to the fore. And I want to, give my one penny advice. See, there is no perfect union anywhere. It is the people involved that makes the union workable. My brother was telling me something very funny. One of the days, he was having some kind of hot, sharp disagreement with his wife in his office. They were disagreeing sharply. They were actually talking to themselves. And suddenly, a man jumped in. And once they saw the man, they maintained, everybody cooled down. And he called him out and said, bros, my wife is giving me trouble. And why I'm telling you now is that I don't know what to do. I've tried everything I can do. And I think I'm getting it here. How is it that you and your wife are so peaceful and so loving, and I've not seen any of you, abuse each other? You don't disagree, you don't quarrel, and my wife is just giving me trouble. My brother looked at him and patted him on the back and said, oh boy, as you were just coming in, I and my wife were having serious arguments. It's just that we saw you that we just decided to mellow. Go home and build your marriage. So I want to talk to guys here. Don't be a wife beater, and sister, don't be a knife at home. Some husbands have turned to house bands, band that they abuse women a lot. And some wives have become house knives at home. Now, these are the things that brings this kind of trouble and problem in the marriage. If everybody will sit up and play their roles with the fear of God and reverence and love, I want you to understand it will work. The other mistake that we make is that when the two of you were coming together for the very first time, That is sometimes, the passion that was there probably was fueled by infatuation. That is why before you get married, please be sure that you are marrying the person you love. That person you love is not because you are feeling honey, about the person. Whenever you think about the person, you are just, your body is just, misbehaving. That can be infatuation, that can be lust. And infatuation is an exaggerated lust. It is the senior brother of lust. Infatuation cannot be love, but sometimes we mistake it for love. All right? Now, so when you are certain you are marrying the person you love, that person you love, sometimes you sit down and ask yourself, why do I even love this person? And sometimes you may find out that it's nothing physically attached, that you will say, this is the reason why I love the person. But you just know that you found peace, you have peace. Not just that you are sexually aroused whenever you think of this person. Not just because of the fire or the flame of passion that is burning in your heart, And this person you love, you would want to make excuses for him or her even when they make mistake. Now, let me just be sincere with you that the passion that you had at the beginning of the union will not always be there. That passion is like the flame. Now, love is the fire. So, it takes commitment after like 2-3 years or so. Now, the flame of the passion will begin to dwindle. It will begin to wane. Now, it is now the love, which is the fire, that will come together and ignite the flame again. The flame is not the fire. It is the fire that produces the flame. The flame is not the fire. It is the fire that produces the flame. Without the fire, there will be no flame. You get it? Now, so, without the fire, there will be no flame. Then the effort should be that the two of you together would work together to ensure that the flame is not put out. You see, when you see people in the village, like I'm in the village, I'm a village boy, we cook with firewood in the village. Now, so once there is still a presence of little presence of fire and amber, now that you can fan it. Sometimes we use our mouth to blow. Might be just be little, very small thing. As you begin to blow on it, you fan it, the fire begin to increase, it begins to enlarge. Before you know it becomes very red hot, and you put wood together. You bring, fire logs together, and little effort, the thing will, be aflame, and the flame will come back. So these are the ways to actually make marriage work. You may have seen couples that have celebrated 50 years of being married, 40 years of being married, and they are still very, very closely attached to each other. It is not this thing that we do today. It is not this social media love. It is a determination. Your marriage can work, actually. If you are responsible, your marriage can work. And like I said, before you get married, please marry somebody you love, not somebody you lust after. Don't marry a woman because of the shape of her breast or her legs, maybe because of her shape, the waist, and all that. All those things will fall apart. Those things will pass away, but the virtue remains. All right? And you are interested in a man just because he is hairy, because he is tall, because he has white teeth, and his dentition perfect. What if something happens and he had an accident that that probably took away some of his teeth? You won't stop. Will you still continue loving him? And what if all the physical attributes are there, and the first night you sleep together on the bed and you discover that he is snoring, she is snoring, and you don't actually like snoring? Now that is where the test of love comes in. There are so many, shortcomings and shortfalls of a person that you think you love because of the appearance. But when the two of you get closer, you find out that these things are not there. But if the love is there, you begin to help the person to be better. For instance, you marry a man or a woman that has body odor, and you didn't know. Now, but once the two of you are together and you discover this, now you begin to help, not putting the person down and not chasing the person away just because those things are not there. I think I've spoken enough. Thank you so much, and God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you. Let me know what you think about the video first. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, from me to you. Shalom.